Bros, the bass that got flowing, can you feel it? Our love for boxing, we cannot conceal it.
What's up, all my boxing bros and broettes? It's the Bro Hammer here to talk about the fights that took place last night, particularly the main event. But first, I just want to touch on Shawn Porter and Adrian Granados. It was a really good fight, competitive fight. Some people thought it was close. I really didn't see that. I felt like Porter definitely did enough to win. He pretty much controlled the fight up until the point. Up until like maybe the 10th round. He gave away the 11th and 12th, pretty much just knew he had it in the bag and coasted. Just a few takeaways as far as Porter. Honestly, it can be kind of frustrating watching Shawn Porter box sometimes, just because of, he doesn't set anything up, but he can. Like, he has a really good power jab when he wants to use it, but a lot of times he just bull rushes in, doesn't set anything up, and he just throws hard shots. It's definitely it is dirty how he fights. I don't want to say it's intentional. It's always some cuts, headbutts in his fights, a lot of mauling. That's just not a style that I too much appreciate, but I respect it. It gets the job done, and that's what he did last night against Adrian Granados. Now, as far as Granados, man, in another exciting fight, lost a competitive fight. I don't think it was as close as when he lost to Broner, because that really could have went either way, but Granados showed a lot of grit and a lot of heart. I like the kid. He's flashy. He's a little cocky, and that's good for a fighter to be that way, especially when he backs it up. He didn't back down from Porter. I saw a few times he was stunned by him, but I don't think he was ever badly hurt. I mean, he was in the fight. He was just pretty much getting mauled, but he did a really good job, and he definitely did not do himself a disservice by taking a loss to Shawn Porter. Now, on to the main event. So, going into this fight, I didn't do a prediction video. Obviously, you guys would have saw it. But I felt that Wilder was going to win, and he was going to win by stoppage. Here's the proof of that. So, as you can see, on Thursday, I did say he was going to, I felt like he was going to win. So it's not an after the fact type of thing. I think what we saw, he was really trying to make a statement. You could tell the man is frustrated with his opponents coming up positive for performance-enhancing drugs. It's over and over again where he's trying to prove himself. You have fans, casuals mostly, and some, hardcore boxing fans that have not bought into Deontay Wilder, an American heavyweight champion, for whatever reason. They say, oh, well, he's sloppy. He throws windmill punches, wild punches. So what? He gets the job done, and he's knocked out every single one of his opponents, including Stiverne now, who he didn't knock out in the first fight. But he took care of him this time. I mean, what more do you want? The man is trying to fight everybody. It's not his fault that these guys have to take a little something to get in the ring with him. So that ought to tell you something about how the actual fighters feel about Wilder. They may think he's a little better than a lot of us give him credit for. There's really not much to review for this fight. Wilder came out pumping the jab. That's another thing. I saw that in the first fight he was using the jab, and people say that he can't box. He can box when he wants to. When he has his man hurt, is usually when he gets wild, I've noticed. But he used a jab. I mean, he has an 83-inch reach, 6'7". Why not use a jab? I mean, that's probably one of the first things that he was taught when he started being trained. He kept Stiverne on the end of that jab, and he caught him with the 1-2. And like I've said time and time again, and I will keep saying it, when Deontay Wilder lands flush clean with that right hand, all he needs to do is land it once. From that point on, the fight is virtually over. Even if the guy gets up, he's not going to be fully recovered. He's getting stopped. We've seen it time and time again. Now, Keith Thurman calls himself one time. Deontay Wilder is the real one time. He is the one fighter right now, most popular fighter, that really has legitimate fight-ending power. One shot changes the whole fight, and the fight is over with. I've not seen one man recover from that right hand. He landed that right hand, a straight, beautiful 1-2 through the guard, by the way. Beautifully executed. So there are your boxing skills for those that say he's sloppy. And he can get sloppy at times. Drops Stiverne on his butt. And I believe this is the first time Stiverne has been down in his whole career, if I'm not mistaken. Unless he went down in the first fight. He may have went down in the first fight. You know, Wilder just stood in front of him for a second. Stiverne did nothing because he tasted the power and he knew it was real. Wilder just stood in front of him with his hands down for several seconds. And then he unloaded on him with the wild haymaker punches. But he had the man hurt already. So at that point, he was just taking his frustrations out on him. Dropped him again. I believe it was a looping right hand around the guard that caught him. And then the third knockdown, it was a left hook that started it against the ropes. And then he landed the straight right again. And you saw Stiverne close his eyes and go to sleep and just crumble. And when a guy falls like that, where he just kind of falls on his knees and just lean backs against the ropes, like he was trying to do the limbo, he sleep. So for all of those people that say, you know, Stiverne has a chin and he got slept, okay? Like I said, that right hand is something else. We got to look at this in a certain perspective because I believe Stiverne, he's only fought once in 3 years, okay? So we got to, you know, be realistic here. He also came in 15 pounds heavier than he's ever been. Or not 15 pounds heavier than he's ever been, 15 pounds heavier than he was in the first fight. So he came in at 250, was it 253 guys or 254, something like that. He was pretty big, pretty heavy. You can tell his stomach was a little fuller. And he hadn't fought in 2 years at this point. So he definitely should have got a tune-up fight. But hey, he talked and talked and talked to get this fight. He tried to stand in the way of the Luis Ortiz fight. Him and Don King were paid off, I believe it was $600,000. They were given to step aside when Luis Ortiz, one of those guys that you said Wilder couldn't beat. Well, I think he would have knocked out Ortiz too. But, you know, one of those guys that you said he couldn't beat, some of y'all, what happened? He got popped for PEDs for the second or third time. Like, these are the guys that y'all, these cheaters, y'all like them or whatever. And we got a heavyweight champion that's, you know, wants to fight clean and prove himself and fight the best, and people are still knocking him. So, but anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Stiverne, he talked his way into that fight. He was begging for that fight. He said, Deontay's not fighting anybody until he fights me. The last fight I was dehydrated. You know, he couldn't beat the worst version of me. So what do you think is going to happen when I'm ready and I'm fully, you got knocked out. So no excuses. Even though you hadn't fought in a couple of years and you came in heavy, hey, you begged for it, you asked for it, and you got what you asked for. Now we don't ever have to worry about him, you know, begging Deontay Wilder for another fight. It's done with. He beat him easily the first time. He destroyed him this time. It's over with. So what did Deontay Wilder prove in this fight? He didn't prove anything that I already did not know or think about him. He's very athletic. His technique is lacking. I got to keep it real. He has a good jab. The way he throws out his jab is very good for a heavyweight. So he has a solid jab. One-shot knockout power. Moving forward, I'm not sure if Joshua and Eddie Hearn are going to set this fight up. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to set it up for next year. I hope they do. But after seeing that, they may want to hold off a little bit. I think Joshua has all the skills in the world to beat a Deontay Wilder, but I don't think he's going to beat him when they fight. I believe he's going to get knocked out. And that's not a knock against Joshua. I'm not saying that he's not a better skilled fighter, technically a better fighter, but this is the thing. We can all disagree or agree on who's going to win the fight. But one thing is for sure, Wilder is not someone that you can really prepare for. The reason why is the same reason why a lot of people aren't sold on him. It's the technique. It's wild and sloppy, but it's very awkward. You're not too sure what he's gonna do, and it's kind of hard to plan for that. Now it'd be a little different if he didn't have that power. It wouldn't matter as much. You wouldn't have to be as safe. But since he has fight-ending power, combined with the lack of technique awkwardness, it makes for a tough fight. And the fact that he's very athletic for his size. He's long, pause, long arms, tall. He'll be taller than Joshua. He's not going to be bigger than him, but that doesn't matter. They're both big men. I know a lot of people saying that there's no way AJ could lose that fight, or they just don't see it because of the skill factor, but styles make fights. AJ gets hit. Let's be honest. So think about it like this. And I said this before, that same right hand that Vlad dropped AJ with, that he got back up from, the fight would have been over if Wilder hit him with it. Now, Vladimir Klitschko is not as fast as Deontay Wilder. And we saw last night, he can set up the right hand the same way Klitschko set it up. That's how he knocked down Stiverne the first time. So, because I thought, well, the way Klitschko delivered, the delivery system that he came with, Wilder wouldn't be able to do it the same way. Well, we saw it last night that he can. And if he hits AJ with that same right hand, the fight is over with. He may get up, but he's going to be badly hurt. And we're not dealing with a 40-year-old past his prime, great heavyweight champion like Vladimir Klitschko, where he kind of let AJ off the hook. We should have tried to stop him. Wilder is going to finish him if he hurts him. It's going to be a tough fight for Anthony Joshua if they do man up. I'm going to say it, if they do man up and decide to fight Wilder, because he wants it to happen. He's not ducking anybody. He never has ducked anybody, guys. So let's stop saying that. He's trying to make all the fights, the best fights, the fights that we want to see, so he can prove himself, so a lot of people can, stop doubting him. Hey, if AJ and Hearn believe that, AJ is better and he can beat him, let's make the fight. Let's make the fight for the spring of next year. Why not? Wilder is probably as good as he's going to get. AJ is improving. He's learning on the job. But you say he's already better than him now? Fight him. Why not? It's the fight is going to be as big as it's going to be. There's nobody else in the heavyweight landscape for these guys to fight that really matter. Unless Tyson Fury comes back, which the man, he can't get in shape. He's dealing with his demons. God bless him. But I don't think he's going to come back anytime soon. Okay? Maybe he will, and that would be great for boxing. That'll be great for the heavyweight division. But there's no other fight to make right now besides Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua to unify in the division. Let's do it. Wilder has been screaming, yelling, begging to fight AJ. And they're just pushing him to the side like, well, you fight Dillian Whyte. For what? What does he need to fight Dillian Whyte for? There's no reason to. He's just going to knock him out. Like, y'all just want to see him knock out Dillian Whyte? Like, why? Why waste time? Let's do it now. The fight is as big as it's ever going to be because there's no other guys in the way to make it bigger. Like I said, unless Tyson Fury comes out of retirement. That's not happening anytime soon. So make the fight. Let's see. AJ, if he's as good as, build, then hey, it's easy fight for him. He can beat Deontay Wilder. But I don't think they believe that. And I know what Deontay Wilder thinks. He feels that he can stop him. He can beat AJ, knock him out, and take the belts and unify the division. And I think that's what's going to happen when they make the fight. It's going to surprise a lot of people, but styles make fights. Yeah, Deontay Wilder has that right hand to God. He smites his opponents. When he touches them, they go down. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what do you guys think? What did you think of the Deontay Wilder's performance last night and Sean Porter and Adrian Granados' performance last night? And do you guys feel that Deontay Wilder would beat Joshua like I feel like he would? Or do you just think Joshua's technical ability will allow him to break down Deontay and stop him, or, get a unanimous decision? Let me know in the comment section. As always, share, like, comment, and subscribe. It's the Bro Hammer, signing out.